Now. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? I'm live on a podcast. Found out about that a couple minutes ago.
Yep. We are going truly live. We do call it the MTB Shed Live, which people can find on podcast networks everywhere, and like and subscribe and all that other cool stuff. But yeah, we are truly live tonight. No preparation for this one. We're coming hot off the heels of the Chubb Enduro. The Chubb Trail is here in Eureka. It'll be every year. So if you miss it this year, sign up and make sure you participate. There's 2 more Enduros to the rest of the series. Next one's going to be Big Mountain. But Chubb's really cool. It's one of our oldest trails here in the St. Louis area. It's probably the most infamous trail, one of the more gnarly ones. I was steward there for a while. I used to ride there every, couple times a week prior to opening the shop. So super fun trail. I think it's the best mountain bike trail in the area.
100%.
I don't know. It just that reminds me of St. Louis riding. And then what they did with the Missouri Enduro series is they cut in a bunch of new lines and stuff like that. I heard the last stage was pretty gnarly on the rough cut. What were your thoughts on the event?
Amazing. I loved it. I actually put it on social media that I would put the Chubb Enduro against any Enduro short of the BME in the Midwest or the South. It was that good this year. It was, this was not your dad's Chubb. This was not any Chubb that you were, this was not any Chubb that you were familiar with.
We're gonna need to use pause a lot in talking about this Enduro.
Yep. So, it was excellent. It was really excellent. There were a lot of rough cut stages in there, a lot of stages that were transformed, and, Matt Johnson, Jeff Powell, and Dave Elkin did a really good job of keeping the spirit of Enduro, which is a level playing field. There were secret lines that were taped off. There were lines that only locals would probably know, or people sessioning it, that were taped off. There's a nice little double split right before you get to the infamous stairs. Mm-hmm. And it's a little sneaker line that you can take and kind of straighten that curve. Yep. And race day came around that corner. She was taped. Wow. It was taped. Yeah, it was taped. And so
that's kind of rough because that's a super rooty, rocky section through there. So if you're hitting it with speed, if you did not pre-ride, then that would probably be a very big surprise.
Yeah, you got to come correct for sure through there. It was amazing. It was so much fun. It was 6 stages. Okay. It turned out to be 7 with a mystery stage. Stage 6 was a mystery, never been ridden before, rough cut stage.
Where was it?
Down the other side of the stairs. So the stairs, traditionally, if you come into this, it's about a 5-foot drop on one side. Mm-hmm. And then there's the middle, which is gigantic rocks that you can arduously roll through. Or there's the true B line, or as Jeff Paul says, there's 7 ways to get down the stairs. That might be the D or the E line. Yeah, and there was a cut. There was a berm that went right around to the left, and then it sent you down this straight rough cut. And there was an A line and a B line.
So it went off to the left of the steps.
Off to the right of the steps.
Really?
Down that bluff. And and you ended up in the field overlooking by the Wolf Sanctuary, this beautiful cliff. And I got to tell you, that's a hell of an audible, because it was a race, and it's a testament to the Wheels Up crew and the Wheels Up team of youth enduro riders who came and made it. Okay. Because like I said, that's a hell of an audible. You come into a race, and that's enduro. Yeah. That's 12.9 miles projected. Okay. And became 18.4.
Jeez-o.
Became 18.4. Oh. And the secret stage that was
longer than Greesfelder?
Oh yeah.
Holy smokes, dude. What time did most everybody finish, or what was the fastest time you?
I think looking over the results, I want to say high 14s. I might be wrong. High 14s were pros. You can pull it up. The results are there. And then, 15, 16, 17, 18 up in there, all the way up into 25, 26.
It's on Loki Events website. Right?
Yep. The results are up on Loki Events websites underneath results.
Well, before I do that, I'm going to share the screen here. Basically, we're looking at Josh is another one of the coaches. So Wheels Up set up basically best way to describe it is like a pro corner for your guys' team at both the Greesfelder Enduro and Chubb Enduro. So that's what everybody's looking at here. We're checking out the tent.
Yeah, but I am Michael Cuddihee, the head coach of the Wheels Up Enduro team. And
oh yeah, that's right. You are a person that
that's
people
right.
should know your name.
And that we endeavor to have a pro pit for our athletes to support them. And short of welding a frame, there's really nothing we can't fix. We have a tool chest that has the Park Tool catalog in it. We've replaced rear ends, cassettes, hubs,
Pause.
wheels. Yes.
Sorry. I just learned this new pause thing. It's what all the kids do. Anytime you say anything that can be taken the wrong way, you're supposed to say pause.
I am.
So
what did I say wrong?
Nothing.
I'm not hip to the lingo.
Yeah, I was pretty blown away. So I wasn't.
Rear end. I just caught it.
Yeah.
Dude.
I ride mountain bikes. And
I hang out with teenagers and ride mountain bikes, dude. You don't think I can throw down the best of them and get silly and stupid? For sure.
So, let's see here. Yeah, I wasn't able to make it out to Chubb Enduro, but I did stop by Greesfelder and got to see the setup, and it blew my mind. I was so excited when I seen that. Like, it was really cool. You had 210 set up. Everything was kind of logoed up with all the sponsors for the team. There was like a whole snack section.
Yep.
There was like sugary snacks and good snacks, I think. Was there
sugary
snacks?
It's ridiculous.
It looked like I was at like a factory motocross race.
Fully.
And I didn't even see on Saturday because you guys had the airbag set up and all kinds of stuff the day before.
Dude, it was the happeningest place. I mean, between our parents are rock stars.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we had gluten-free, dairy-free, Rice Krispie treats, cookies, gels, goos, power bars. But if you needed it, we had it. And there was always somebody there asking you, what do you need? What do you need? And then in the back, we had the airbags blown up and kids just sending it. After the race, kids, working on their 360s and just sending it back there. I'm pretty sure every kid under 18 was in our tent or around our tent at some time. It was killer.
Yeah, it was sick. I went in there. That was the first thing. And Cody had some super nice lounge
chairs
seating in there as well. So I know while I got to the Greesfelder door after everybody took off, so I got to sit down and hang out with him and lounge for a bit. It was so cool.
Yeah, that's what we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be a pro pit, and quite frankly, that's what we modeled it after. And I had a couple of years underneath my belt, underneath the specialized factory tent. Downhill racers, Sean Palmer, Kurt Voorhees, and cross-country riders, Bert Brenchens. I was standing right next to those guys. I set that tent up, worked in that tent, and then transitioned over to Fox and did full factory support for a bunch of factory riders there and made mental notes of everything that I saw. And really, honestly, trying to be straight up, just tried to recreate that. You see who's the best, and you learn from them, and you try to implement it and make it just like that. And that's what we set out to do, and we got a lot of support to do it. And we could not have done it. I've never really been on the other side of thanking sponsors, but when you see what a Herculean effort it is to really pull something off like that, and when like people say that, like, we can't do this without our sponsors, we can't. There's no way. We would be so upside down, it would be ridiculous. Yeah. And our sponsors from, Shape the Sky to the Bike Center to Shape the Sky is really, really cool. Okay. Shape the Sky promotes social responsibility and mobile responsibility for youth. Sick. Yep. Screen time, how to interact, who's going to be interacting with you, just a safe social media guidelines and help for youth.
How do kids find out about it?
ShapeTheSky.org. Okay. ShapeTheSky.org. Take the pledge. It's pretty cool.
They have an app?
I don't know if they have an app. I don't think they do. Okay. The website's pretty cool, though. ShapeTheSky.org. Cool.
People know how to use the internet.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure they're already Googling it. But we couldn't do all that. And it's just a factory environment. It's a ton of fun. And it's a safe space because really anything short of, grievous bodily injury, we can fix it.
So not only did you you were coaching the kids during this race and providing support. I know, like, we've got a young man, we call him Smiley here. He blew out his wheel really bad, so Cody was doing some wheel fixes and stuff under the
Riley
wheel
Romaker.
building. I think that was good for Cody.
Yep.
He got him right back into that mechanic edge.
Yep.
So I was stoked to hear him talk about that. And Riley was, of course, stoked to be able to get back out on the, or Smiley was.
Smiley. That's a great nickname for Riley Romaker.
Able to get back out on the trail. But you did, so you're kind of out there with them. So I guess, I mean, obviously you see the guys out on the trail and you're kind of coaching them along the way, but you raced as well.
I did.
You were able to get on a podium. You got what place?
I got third. I got third place in the old guys in the 50 AM, third.
Dude, that's the most competitive division.
Oh, dude, I'll be real honest with you. I thought I was like, I'm stepping up. You know, I'm getting older. I'm 50. I'm going to race this class. Yeah, they got faster.
Yeah.
These guys are no joke.
Yeah, the most like, I think the most like competitive divisions are the older guys and then the way younger guys.
Fully.
Like, those are the two most capable groups.
Absolutely.
Everybody like in my mid-range, we're not capable anymore.
Yes, we did. And again, I think one of the reasons this program works is we are straight up about everything. Yeah. And one of the things we're straight up about is learning. And what we learned at the Greesfelder Enduro, we endeavored, it was kind of we endeavored to have this coaches racing with the kids. That was always what it was supposed to be about. It was racing side by side. We executed it decently at Greesfelder. Kind of got strung out. Kind of had a little yo-yo effect.
More spaced out there anyway.
Right. And then here's the other key component of why Wheels Up Enduro is so successful. We work with the promoter. We work with Matt Johnson.
Right.
We work with, Jeff Powell, who's one of our coaches. And we communicated those needs. And Matt Johnson stepped up to the plate and made a true 13U category. And, he did it because there was a need. So there was a 13 and under category and 17 and under category, and then a true beginner category.
Right.
And at the Chubb Enduro, the way it was my group went off with the 13U.
Right.
And so I was able to, we had it staggered. So the way we put it out to our parents was your athlete will always be on course with a coach, whether it be in front, side by side, or trailing. And Josh was initially supposed to go out at 9, and I was going to go out at 10, and Jeff was going to go out at 10:30. It ended out Josh and I went out with basically half the team, and then Paul did sweep for the other half of the team. And I got to tell you, dude, it was one of the most, I've done a lot of stuff in mountain biking, but that was one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had. You want to talk about forged in fire and going through the crucible. When I mean, dude, it's like riding with, 15 of the coolest guys you've ever ridden with, coolest guys and girls, and just to see, there is no way that they could have done that if they did not prepare and they did not take being prepared seriously. The physiological demands, I mean, like, dude, with the exception of one injury, we had no mechanicals, nobody ran out of food, nobody bonked, nobody broke anything, and everybody made it and finished well. I mean, the podium was a sea of orange.
How many kids raced? How many young people raced? I should keep going.
17 of us were out there.
No mechanicals at 17?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's good. That's good skilled riding. That's one thing that happens in the shop all the time. Not all the time. Like, a parent will come in. I just recently had a conversation with a parent, and they're like, yeah, just keeps going through tires. His rear tires ripped a knob off, this and that. And I'm like, well, that's something that kind of will take care of itself in time. I said, it's hard when you're not paying for your own tire. I said, the reason as you get older and what makes the older guys so competitive is you learn to ride lightly. You learn to pick better lines. You learn
You learn to ride like there's something hanging off the back of your bike.
Right. So you take care of it better. And that's what I try telling the parent. I'm like, it's just a matter of time. Like, after you have to buy a certain amount of tires, you start thinking about that when you're on the trail and start riding smarter. Or if you're just making good decisions out there, you're going to be easier on your bike. It's going to be a lot less wear and tear. So from a bike shop standpoint, I appreciate you guys being there to let kids know that if you whip off every drop and you land sideways every time, you're going to break your full suspension bike to pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. We started the program with Enduro is to endure. And like, we take EBOB seriously, which is every bolt on the bike. And every bolt on those bikes was gone over, by myself, by a qualified mechanic, by the athlete, and checked and rechecked at every race. You know it. We're sitting in the mountain bike shed.
Yep.
I mean, we are riding those bikes like we stole them. You know, we are punishing them. But like you said, with a conscious head of like, this is a, you know, depletable resource that I got to make it through a stage of a race. And we just really focus on it. We practice a lot of bike maintenance and just a lot of what it takes to get through that race. And that's, I will probably talk about the Chubb Enduro for years to come, because it was the ultimate litmus test of taking 17 student athletes out there and having an audible thrown at you that was from 12.9 miles to 18.4 miles. And one of them was a blind stage with A and B drops on them. And all my kids made it through. And all my kids had a sensational time. And afterwards, after every Monday, we do a pre-race, we do a post-race. We follow a strict program from Train to Ride, which is D. Tidwell. He's a pro mountain bike coach.
I remember you bringing this up. Yeah.
And we have a ramp up to the race week, and then we have a cool down from the race week. And in fact, we're in a periodization period right now where they got the week off because we were pinned wide open from Greesfelder to Chubb.
Right.
And this periodization is half of a workout, and you take a week off, start riding the bike again this weekend, because one of our ethos and our philosophies is mountain bikers are the most notorious overtrainers in the world. And I try to teach them the benefits of rest and recovery and how much stronger you'll come back. And I also think it's important to be mentally balanced, you know, like put the bike away for a couple days, keep the fire strong, you know, keep it.
I think mentally mountain biking probably is good to do every day, but yeah, I mean, your body cannot handle that. I mean, that if you don't allow your legs to rest or your body to rest, I guess you have to allow your mind to rest too.
I'm also talking about it.
It's never going to recover, and you're not going to get stronger.
Yeah, I'm talking about as it's applicable to a club team and an elite level performance.
Right.
Like you have to step away,
Right.
because when we come back, we beat it like it owes us money, dude.
Right.
I mean, we just get after it. I mean, we do, you know, sometimes 2 or 3 practices a week. Most of the time it's 1 practice a week. But as we lead up to races, we've done 2, 3 practices. And then you throw a pre-ride in there on a Saturday. We practice 5 days a week, you know, and then do strength and conditioning, you know, a Zoom call on the other one. It's like, got to step away. I mean, for like 3 or 4 days, you really have to let your synapses recover from getting that much visual acuity going on, having audibles thrown at you like that.
And adrenaline running all the time.
Oh God, dude.
I mean, that's the thing. Mountain biking is not only are you exercising, but you're also flying down a hill, you know, half of an inch away from a tree, or sometimes not any distance away from a tree, and just tapping things. So like your adrenaline's rolling the whole time, which is also taxing on your brain and your body. So
I have to tell you a story about that blind stage, and just because I'm so proud of the kids, I'm so proud of the athletes, everybody made it through.
That's steep off that hillside.
Dude,
I'd walked it before when I was steward.
Bro, we sat at the bottom of that after all of our athletes came down. I actually had one who went down on it. He popped his patella out, and then it popped back in. Oh, he ended up being fine. Good for him. But yeah.
Was that the one?
Andrew Strong? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and after all my athletes got down, we sat down and recovered because we had to go do the final stage. Dude, I just watched bikes without riders coming down that hill. It's just like it's like Keystone Cops, dude. Just here comes a bike, no rider, or here comes a bike and a rider, or here comes a rider running forward and the bike's chasing him down the hill.
I wish I would have, or I was here today, but I haven't seen. We didn't have many bikes show up today, so hopefully our guys did fared well.
For sure. And you know, a lot of them were. A lot of our riders, we had a lot of them take the A lines, but we had a lot of them that we coach. It's like, dude, there's no shame. The B line is still gnarly, crazy gnarly, you know. And
there's a big time difference though on some of those B lines, though, from what I understand.
Huge,
like 10, 15, even 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
The B line.
Yeah, the Flint Quarry one, the cutoff just to like the B line was such a penalty that it's so funny working with kids. They were like, I'll just run up to the edge of that and just throw my bike off of it and jump off the A line. And, you know, I was like, I let him run with it for a while. And I was like, let's talk about this.
I'm into that. I thought that was a good idea. I would have like maybe on like practice day, like set up some sort of like stick or something. I could then slide my bike, like 2 sticks off to the side and you slide it down.
Have to shift your paradigm though. when you're working with kids.
Right.
And dude, because it's all about what's going to yield the best result.
Yeah.
And for you
Right.
or an adult, can you run down to the edge of that thing? I mean, I don't know. There's probably was guys who did that.
Right.
And could you portage your bike or even lower it down enough to get to it and then run down the hill? Probably. If you're 13, if you're 14.
I know my our mechanic was signed up for the race. He ended up not being able to race. He crashed. I think that's where he crashed out.
Mm-hmm.
One of those. He was on a hardtail though. So
Oof.
his problem. And then Mustache got on the podium.
He
got
did.
second place.
He did.
So that I was pretty.
I saw that whole
for him.
group. I was riding by him and riding with them, and I was singing "Remedy" by the Black Crows because they were all on remedies. You know, it's Remedy. It was Remedy and Roscoe. Your boy was riding a hardtail Roscoe, right?
No. Who was riding Roscoe?
Who was the mechanic? Who you talking about? Mustache?
Oh, he was on an Elroy. Are you talking about on practice day?
No, your guy who was riding the hardtail.
He was on an Elroy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a Marin hardtail.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know what it is.
But he did not race.
Yeah. It was a different guy. There's a guy out there on a hardtail Roscoe.
The new Roscoe is sick though.
Yeah.
They
mad props.
140 mil of travel and like a 65-degree head tube.
Yeah, it looked meaty. It looked like fun.
Yeah,
I'm
excited to see those in. They're 2 years in the making, so I'm sure they're putting all kinds of special touches on, getting them real shined and polished up for us.
For sure.
And when they arrive, I'm sure they're going to be beautiful and great. But yeah, I'm kind of stoked. I actually I'm thinking I'll probably want a Roscoe. Now it makes sense why they felt comfortable getting rid of the Stash,
right?
Which was the greatest hardtail of all time, in my opinion, and it just disappeared. So the Roscoe, I think, was supposed to
fill the void.
That a little bit.
Yeah, I got a couple of buddy of mine who have a Stash stashed, and they love those bikes.
They're so beautiful. They got such a short wheelbase,
right?
And they're 29. They roll like 29ers, but it rides like a fat bike. So it's insane. It makes it super rowdy.
Nice.
But anyhow, what were we talking about? Oh,
Chubb. I get so excited about that place, and there's so much in store for that place. Like, I mean, I know Paul's got 5 or 6 stages in his hip pocket that he's already thinking about for next year that nobody's seen, nobody's ridden, nothing. It's just going to get better and better and better. And I mean, 2 of the stages, we went from the highest point in the park all the way down to the lowest part in the park,
which is
330-ish, 340 feet. I mean, which makes anywhere from a 2-minute to a 3-minute stage, which is a ton of fun.
I'm trying to look up the race results. I guess it really doesn't matter because I'm not.
Sure it does.
Well, the results do matter, yes. But the question is will I be able to sort out what the other means? Greesfelder, Chubb Enduro.
There you go.
Age groups. Yeah, I mean, Chubb is super cool. I mean, I think it was the first race for the Missouri Enduro Series back in 2020,
right before the COVID window shut down.
Yeah, it was raining. Yeah, it was literally a couple days before. There was no mandates to close anything. So
the mandate was that Monday. Yeah, that was our last glimpse of freedom.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like doing it and just leading up that entire week. We're like, are we going to be able to have this? And even like when we did it, feeling really guilty. Like, this is like we still have to do this, but like I feel like we're doing something wrong here.
No regrets.
But nobody got sick from it.
Nope.
It was at the after party was at Melvin. There was a buffet and everything.
I know it was bad mountain bike.
We were in the garage at Melvin, which is their kind of indoor outdoor space.
Right.
3 garage doors. So
we were socially distancing where appropriate.
I think it was closed though because it was raining and it was cold.
It was cold. Yeah, that was also uncanny, dude. That was another talk about a vibe. So we've been practicing this whole time, and if you haven't been paying attention to current events, that was probably the first sunny and 77-degree day that we had. So we had all the athletes practicing. Like there were some mornings where like practice was like, it's 38 degrees out. It's,
right.
30, 36, 37 degrees out, and it's wet, and we're practicing there. They were like, I had a couple of student athletes come up to me. They're like, this is easy, coach. They're like, it's not wet, it's not cold, it's not raining, it's dry. They're like, they felt very well prepared going into that race.
So I had to stop because I pulled up the race results, and I thought this was true, but I hadn't talked to Alex and confirmed. But Alex actually placed first in amateur men's, and the Mustache sadly could not beat Alex on Sunday. So Alex took the victory there, got first place on the podium, which is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm pretty proud of Alex. I forgot about that. I completely forgot. So that's really good to see. I'm happy for him.
Now we're gearing up for Shepherd and St. Gnarls. We won't race Shepherd as a team, but St. Gnarls will be our next race. But I highly encourage anybody to get out to Chubb. Put that on the calendar next year.
Oh, Jamie McDaniel raced in the amateur men's 40 to 49. And he got first place. Jamie's really fast. He's a motocross guy.
Nice.
And he's obviously between 40 and 49. It's fast as crap, though. It is insane. That man is beyond driven. The moto guys always seem to have that kind of, like the hair scramble guys, like a weird drive that just like.
I did hair scrambles for a long, long time. Had a lot of motocross stuff too. I bring a lot of that flavor and a lot of that flair into the pits. You know, when you race AMA hair scrambles and you know you go to motocross events and stuff like that, it's a family and it's a community, which is what we're building there.
So it looks like your total time, you're at 17 minutes, 49 seconds.
Correct.
But I'm not familiar. The guy who got first in your division, the 50 plus.
Crushed it.
Well, his team name is the AARP Senders.
Senders. I know, dude. If and when I ever make it on the podium again, I got something I'm going to roll out there. Cane wheelchair or something.
Steve Friedman got second place in the e-bike division.
He did. Friedman rocked it.
To him for the second place podium spot. That's pretty good.
This is a class I used to race, and then I went with racing the pedal bike this year.
So you think you may have knocked him off the podium had you been riding your e-bike?
You don't know. You never know.
Yeah,
you don't know. You don't know.
Maybe.
You never know. Got close a couple times last year. No cigar though. But yeah.
All right. I think I'm working my way down. Here we go. Junior boys. I wonder if there's anything weird about me. Yeah. I don't know if I want to go through it. So some of the junior boys.
Stinking fast.
One of them was faster than you.
Oh, yeah.
The first place gentleman.
Caleb?
And then, so 17 minutes, 28 seconds for the boys under 13.
I know.
He finished in 17 minutes, 28 seconds. You
17.
been riding mountain bikes your entire life.
And training.
At it. Yeah, 17:40.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly fast. And then it looks like most of the rest of the young men had really good times, 21 minutes, 22 minutes. It was all really close. I mean, that's...
Look at some of the 17 in you. Some of our riders, Brody, Caleb, look at their times. They're going to blow your mind.
Yeah, and then, going on here, 15 minutes for Sheldon. All right. I just don't...
It's Caleb Schillemeyer. He races for us and for Trailhead.
I don't want to sit on any of these kids' names. So I mean,
you can say the Wheels Up Enduro teams, guys. You can, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess it's on the internet anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like...
They worked hard for it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, here we go. All right. So Will got second place in the under 13.
Yep.
And then Colsey
Molesky. Yep.
Yeah. And now, is he on the Wheels Up Enduro team?
100%. Rock the jersey. Cool. He's on the team.
Sweet. It does not say that under his name.
I think it was something in registration. When the podium pictures come out, they all have Wheels Up Enduro. Because it's really weird if you, on Bike Reg, how it is, if your profile says one thing and you don't register the same in the race, it'll go with your original profile. So we'll get that cleaned up.
So the under 13 boys had a gentleman come in from Colombia and really show them how it was done. So I think they've got some hard work to do
for sure
before the next race to make sure that doesn't happen again.
We're on it.
Yeah. So that's crazy. Was he like, does he turn 13 or like 14 tomorrow? Is this one kid already 14?
I don't know. Jeez, check him out.
Was he like a grown man looking? Was he huge?
He was definitely taller than the other kids, but just fast.
Just fast kid.
Just
rides
fast.
His bike all the time.
Yeah, just fast.
Wonder what he's riding out there.
I don't know. I have to find out.
He's probably doing a lot of road training. I bet you he does a lot of road training.
I bet you that he's just riding his bike.
Just throwing down enduros.
Yeah, he's just riding his bike. He's just getting saddle time and riding his bike.
How cool. All right. So anyway, so now we can go back to the under 17. That's the really competitive division with a bunch of super fast dudes.
Heavy hitters.
Caleb seems to always get on the podium.
Yep.
Has he won every race he's been in?
He's won every race he's been in that he's raced for us for Trailhead and for Wheels Up Enduro.
Right.
Yeah, this year, yeah, he's won every race.
Yeah.
Soundly, handily.
Yeah, and he's a great dude. I guess I first met him like 2 or 3 years ago when he came in with his parents, and I don't know how old he is, but he was young teen then, and yeah, just like super good. Still to this day when he comes in, obviously, super good manners, just really well put together dude. So
all of them are
stoked
super
that-
well spoken, super respectful.
Yeah.
And they all want to be there.
Yeah.
They're in it. Like they eat, sleep, breathe bikes.
Yeah, and I mean, I grew up in the city. I played roller hockey when I was a kid, so like, but that was all I did. I wake up in the morning, I put my skates on, I go outside, and I start throwing the tennis ball against the garage. And I would feel like it's the same for these guys. Like, that's what they should do.
Caleb has a secret weapon. In addition to being a fantastic bike rider and putting in a ton of work and a ton of time with the team, Caleb runs track too.
Okay.
So he's a high
He's got
school
lungs
athlete.
for days.
Lungs for days,
Yeah.
and
Super
trains.
strong legs.
Yeah, and trains hard and recovers like that.
Right. He is. Yeah, he's from a family of athletes.
Yeah, we were doing the recovery call and he was in the gym working out.
Nice.
Which says all you need to know.
So yeah, then
Brody.
but I don't know who Bayram Bikes is, but yeah, Brody then got third,
Mhm.
and then Oliver was just off the fourth.
He was.
Um,
Blind stage got him.
so yeah, that's shocking because I think Oliver normally
Wins.
podiums or
Wins or podiums
Right.
for sure.
Interesting.
Oliver Taha.
Yeah.
Brody Burlingame's on there. Henry
yeah,
Bueno.
Brody got third place.
He podiumed. Henry Bueno. What was Henry's time? Beat me.
Henry was 16 minutes 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then Brody was 12 seconds.
Yeah. That's the natural evolution, though. You know,
Oliver was back 45 seconds off the leader.
Right. That's a natural evolution, though. You know, the student becomes the master.
Smiley hit top 10.
Yeah, he did great.
Yeah.
They all threw down heaters at times. They did really well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then 2 girls raced. That's it.
Our girl, we're gonna start doing athlete spotlights and read her results. Read what she podiumed.
So hold on. The Steve Friedman, he got second place in the e-bike category. He got 15 minutes 37 seconds. And Caleb Shellman got 15 minutes 57 seconds
on a pedal bike.
Yeah, on a standard bike.
Yeah. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Good for him. But yeah, because that was the second place e-bike finisher.
Yeah. It's working. It's working.
No, that's so cool.
Then Morgan Hermsmeyer, look on there. They're our 13-year-old girl. 13.
Is she
second, I believe?
Who?
Morgan.
Oh,
Women.
I'm just in straight up women's. I'm in beginner women's, beginner men's. Josh Clark, first place.
Yeah, Josh Clark, one of our coaches, first place in beginner.
Gus got third place.
Yeah.
Gus is
it was a super
Frank's father-in-law.
Yeah, it was a super successful race for us as a team. A lot of podiums, a lot of victories.
Dude, I was so stoked when I saw, and of course it's like the one I didn't show up to. It should maybe a sign that I should never show up to another race before if I want people I like.
You don't show up to the race, and I'll always
pictures. I was like, oh heck yeah! Like this is somebody I've not. A lot of people who I've never seen on podiums before got on podiums this past weekend, which probably super freaking cool. So
wearing a Wheels Up jersey.
It was cool for me, and I wasn't on the podium.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's cool to see. I lost track of the.
So Morgan's our 13 and under. She's our girl. She's our only girl on our team, and she shreds, dude. She did the entire A line on the finale stage, which was the rock drop down through the creek, through the Hollywood hit. She is amazing.
Hold on. So I'm at the pro men's right now, and holy smokes, dude. That is a very competitive class.
Yeah, they pay well. The pro purse pays well. Guys, come out and race that. They bring the heat.
The gentleman who won was Grant Lamson,
Mhm.
Bethel Heights, Arkansas. Time of 14 minutes, 11 seconds. Cass Cruz.
Yep.
It says Fayetteville, Arkansas. I feel like we still get to claim him as the St. Louis version. He was the steward of Chubb prior to me being steward there. So Cass threw down a time of 14 minutes, 31 seconds. And then Devin got 14:38 and then got third place podium. That was one I was super stoked to see. I was like,
for sure.
Yeah. Him and Mustache were a really neat one. And then now Alex, I should not throw out. But Alex doesn't surprise me as much. Not like I know Mustache is super fast and I know Devin's super fast, but they don't really have the build of
Horse jockey of a horse jockey.
Yeah, but like Alex, I kind of like, okay, yeah, I could see that happening.
Mhm.
I mean, not that I couldn't see with the other ones. I should stop talking. But
You're fine. What was it? Pause.
Yeah, pause.
Okay.
And then so third place. So that was at the pro men's, 3 of them, Devin Hines, Cass Cruz, and Grant Lamson got under 15 minutes, almost under 14:30 for
Which
all
is
of them.
ridiculous.
And then I don't know how to say the next name, so I'm going to ignore that. Somebody from Kansas City, somebody from Illinois, and then Jeff Powell, 6th place. But here's 6th place, not by much.
And Paul is screaming fast, dude.
It's so the 4th place rider got 15 minutes 1 second. The 5th place rider got 15:10.8. Jeff Powell 15:10.9.
Yes.
So very close race in the pro men's division. It looks like probably the 8th and 9th. It looks like they were at 17 minutes, so they probably had some issues come up during the race.
That's
but other than that, with about 30, I guess about a minute between those times. But that's crazy how close that division is, and it's insane to me that I'll stop there.
It's fun to race the division. That's what I'm doing. That's one of the things they promote it as. It's a grassroots series. Race the division.
Yeah,
race it all year.
Fun. That's so cool.
I'm going to desperately try to hang on to my 3rd, climb up higher.
What else we got? Okay, Morgan. Boom. Finally got up here. So girls under 17, only two competed there. I don't know how many in the boys division there was. 14.
Sounds right.
Yeah. We had 1 DNF.
Right.
So 15. Yeah, there's 15 in the boys division. Plus, the other 7 guys racing in the under 13.
Yeah, we can that was actually the 2 we had, the knee issue, and then we had a rider that we pulled who went down.
Okay.
Which is super important because it's important. It's an important component of coaching. It's an important component of what's important to you, concussion protocol.
Right.
And we're very open about it, and we are always continually assessing for it.
Yeah.
And when you have a rider who has a history of concussions and they go down and they hit their head, you're done.
Yeah, and that's the other nice thing about being on the team
with the coach.
If you're going to send your kid to go
right.
bike, is that, and the kind of way the team set up is, once they get on the team, they're going to be with the Wheels Up Enduro. It's not like just one season. You got a new coach coming in. They're going to be with the team for a couple of years,
hopefully,
racing. So, you guys become very familiar with, what their past is, what to keep an eye out for. So, that's something, when you're playing other sports, whether it's hockey and you got a different coach, he doesn't know that you got checked into the boards, last season, and, you had a big ringer that knocked you out for 30 seconds or whatever it may be. Whereas you guys know all what's happening with your athletes, which is really cool. So that's super handy to have.
Yeah, it's 100%. Yeah, we know where they are mentally, physically. Yeah. We know when to cut them loose. We know when to put the bit in the bridle and pull them back. And
so we're at 39 minutes. So that was Chubb. And it was cool. So you talked a lot about preparing the guys to get ready for it. And now the last time we talked, you guys were right before tryouts.
Right.
And So you hadn't had any practices, obviously.
Right.
Now you have the team together. You guys practice a couple times a week. What does and the reason I want to talk about it is maybe what does that look like a little bit? And just because one of the big things like track, is pushed all the dealers and stuff to start looking for like NICA racers as employees. I know for me, my experience with all the Wheels Up guys have been super positive. So I see you guys as like training future shop employees for us, which is really helpful because we need passionate people to be able to, have a cool job during high school
For sure.
And before you go to college. And then
I have my athletes on the team right now, my son included, who shout out to Luke Cuddihee, Skywalker, got 5th.
Yeah.
When can I go work at a bike shop, Dad? When can I go work at a bike shop?
Yeah, it's my favorite thing about the Wheels Up team and then I know everybody's going to be hardworking, and they're obviously going to be passionate about bikes or have good background knowledge on the bike. So, basically any kid who's on the Wheels Up team can go into any bike shop and get a job. Pretty easy.
Dude, 95% of the kids on the team can talk bikes with me and you, down to torque specs.
Yeah, they watch way more videos and stuff.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's like I tell you, it's like going riding with 20 coolest people you can go ride with. It's really awesome.
Yeah. So what goes into getting those guys trained up then? I mean, I know you guys do on trail stuff, but there's a lot of like off trail stuff. Or you're welcome to say whatever you want about your training program. But
our training program is very specific. It's very metered and it's very planned. We have A through F days, which include anything from an A day being probably not gonna remember the exact letters, but I should because I wrote it. A days is a trail day. It's usually 14 miles of just trail riding because an enduro rider, the first thing you have to do is be able to ride the whole race. And we're kind of past the work capacity. We've demonstrated that our program works. We can do the capacity. We can ride 8.4 miles.
Which is crazy for 13-year-old kids.
It's nuts.
14-year-old kids.
It's nuts.
15-year-old kids.
Nuts.
Yeah. And maybe 15 you should be able to do.
51-year-old man, that's nuts, dude.
Right. Yeah.
It's big effort.
Right. Yeah.
You're a 30-year-old man. That's too big.
Do it with a clear mind, not making mistakes, not being at your wit's end and making poor decisions because you can't really ride 14 miles. Maybe you're right for 8.
Right.
And then you start making stupid decisions. You don't finish because you make a big mistake at mile 11.
Right. Or you didn't come prepared.
The important thing about conditioning is that, it's, even though on enduro races, there's you're only really timed on the downhills and there's some pedaling that's involved with that. But having the conditioning to make sure when you reach the top of the hill that your body can recover from that climb and that you're going to have full energy, both physically and mentally, to not make mistakes or
crack.
When you're actually running your stage and trying to go on race pace. So
we got to stage 6 and I looked at every one of the athletes, or stage 5. So we had 2 more to go. I looked at every one of the athletes and I said, the race starts now. Nice. This is when the race starts. And they really didn't comprehend it until the race was over. No. And they were like, you're right, coach. That's when the race started. That was everything that we worked for. Yeah. We schedule our training A through F days. A's are trail days. And then we'll have like F day is a full jump day where all we do is bring out the bags and just send it. We just work on jumps and jumps and jumps. We have a ride plus session day where we will ride specific areas of the trail. Like, for example, we had a bunch of ride plus session days where all we did was ride at a transition pace and then go do a feature repeatedly. We walk it, talk it, ride it is our formula. Walk it, talk it, ride it. And then we also have land days where we do nothing, but we rent out gyms, we've rented out facilities where we do a ton of core, a ton of stability, a ton of impact, a ton of resistance, a ton of balance work. We're working on a lot of balance stuff right now. We had athletes at the beginning of the season who couldn't stand on one leg and pull their knee to their chest without rumbling, stumbling, and wobbling. And now one of my things I always say when we're going through mobility and flexibility prep is make it pretty. Make it pretty. They've got good form. And there was a lot of people who came up to me and they're like, your athletes look smooth. Your athletes look in control. Other people look like they're falling down a cliff or on the edge of control. Our athletes were always in control because it was very structured and very planned. We have intensity days, we have rest days, we have recovery days, and they're lettered A through F. And any one of the Wheels Up Enduro teams, you can tell them what day it is, and they'll know what to bring. Like
My Red Bull just
you got
flew under my eyes.
I saw that. You got a little taurine in the eyeball.
That should give me good energy.
And so, one of the days is like a D day. A D day is you show up at D day. That's right. You show up in full race regalia, which is there's so many micro parts of what it went into to get these kids to podium in an 18.4 mile race.
So they all have like on Google Calendar chart. I was
Team Snap. Team Snap is how we run it, and Team Snap has everything. It's an all-in-one application that has files, locations.
So they know when they wake up in the morning before they go to school, they can look at that day and they know what's in store for them when they get to practice that evening.
100%.
And you guys practice what? 2 days a week? 3 days a week?
Anywhere from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
1 to 3, depending upon how close we're getting to a race. Once we get like before Chubb, I think we had a week where we practiced 4 days.
Yeah,
we did. We practiced 4 days, and so like
I know Smiley was pretty smoked, and he was like
everybody was. Dude, it was gnarly.
That's crazy. Yeah, and looking at when I was looking on Facebook, showing everybody Facebook, it's at 17.4 miles. Or no, 18.4 miles.
18.4.
Yeah, 18.4.
18.4 is what it ended up being. It was proposed to be 12.9. Right. And so like a C day is a full race regalia day.
Okay.
Elbow pads, knee pads, full face, goggles, glasses. You run what you're going to race, which those are the days where we go through everything, every buckle, every strap. Does the helmet fit appropriately? Are you going to have elbow pads that are down and they're now forearm protectors? You know, how does it fit when you get it sweaty, when you fall in it, when you use it, and is it going to be there for you?
Is it going to start chafing
after
6 miles?
Right. And like, one of the things I always say to them is like, you don't want to find out halfway through a race that you and goo or gulax or goo gel don't get along. They put a lot of time into figuring out what's the appropriate food to eat, Do
you guys, when you practice, like ride and then like kind of, I know like when I went through the mountain bike instructors program, that was kind of one thing that was discussed a lot, was like catching people before they bonk, obviously. Because once you bonk, you're just kind of in trouble. But knowing when to like stop and eat something or to make sure you're drinking and stuff like that.
We have a bunch of, I call them elevator speeches, and it's just the way society has become. It's the way kids have become. The last time I was in here, I was on the podcast. I told you got 20 seconds. Yeah. You get 20 seconds to deliver what you really want to say. Otherwise, I'm scrolling to the next one. And the simple answer to the nutrition one that every Wheels Up Enduro athlete will know.
We expect an hour of people's time, though, every week.
I know. The simple answer to your question one, what Wheels Up Enduro, our philosophy is every 30 minutes you need to be drinking something, and every 45 you need to be eating something, period, whether you feel like it or not. The other simple formula that we have is that once a day you should pee clear. You should drink until your urine is a light straw color. And if you're doing that 3 or 4 days before the race, you're too late. We've been planning on this for the whole season. Our athletes came into this hydrated, food, eating clean food, and the other part of that is well rested. I will put stuff out. Everybody reading this should be sleeping at least 10 to 12 hours a night. That's what our student athletes should be sleeping. And one doesn't work well without the other one. And so it's so much more than just an enduro team. And we work on
so much sleep.
It is.
I know my daughter wakes up at 5:30, so she would have to go to bed 7:30.
Well, then Adam, you need to set your clock back. And there's a really good podcast that you should watch. It's called Mountain Bike Shed Live, and they had a guest on last week who was really preaching a lot from the Wheels Up Enduro. I was like, this guy's listening to us, like we work on I did that. Tune down into sleep and
I did it. And my problem is if I fall asleep too early, then I wake up super early. So then I was just up at 4 a.m. because I set my alarm at 10:30. I'll set it at 10:30. I'll wind down and go to sleep. That'll be the time I picked. I'm gonna start doing this. And I did the first time. It was great. I went right to sleep soon after. But then I woke up at 4:30. I was like, oh yeah, that's why I don't. I have just with my brain and stuff. I have to, because once I wake up, I can't go back to sleep. I'm nauseous when I wake up. So I have to immediately get up and it's 45 minutes of that. But so I was like, oh, I can't do that. I have to stay up till midnight so that I sleep till a normal time, like a typical human would.
You know what else is cool about the?
That's off topic.
No, it's not off topic at all. I was talking about sleep. Is God, I could talk about this race all week. It was so when we were there's a feeder program. There's Wheels Up, and then there's Wheels Up Enduro. And so Wheels Up will do weekly rides on Mondays and Wednesdays. And there was a kid out there and his mom. God, I forget his name, but we already have a couple new athletes coming on the team too. There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of spark. And this kid was like 10 years old. And he's like, I know Coach Cody and I ride with the Wednesday night group. And I can't wait till I'm on the Wheels Up Enduro team. And I want to come out. Dude, it's the best. It's the best. There's so much.
And that was like the first thing that hit me, like when I seen the Wheels Up Enduro tent. It was just like, it's like, oh, this is so cool for these kids to see and for other kids to see and give a reason why kids would want to go and train every week. Even if they're not on the team, they still see that that's a thing. So they go and ride their bike more because of that. And then it sets them up to, it just opens up the world. And that's, I think, what mountain biking in general does.
Or they just see it and they want to go ride their bike. Or they want to just go, you know, Nike's, I mean, I'm a Nike coach.
Yeah.
You know, Nike season's starting up here pretty soon. I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. It'll start up in July. I'll be involved with it. I'll do some course setting, and I unfortunately won't be able to be involved with it as much as I can just because Wheels Up Enduro has absolutely been a tiger by the tail, which has been amazing. But to tandem back to your point, just get on your bike.
Yeah.
You know, that's really, if we generate that, getting people on bikes and getting kids on bikes.
Right. Well, and it takes, you know, kids are competitive. I know I'm still competitive, but I was super competitive when I was a kid. Like, and mountain biking missed that for so long here in St. Louis is there was no way to be a competitive kid mountain biking unless you had a competitive parent mountain biking. So it's this really cool opportunity. Now a bunch of other kids have this neat opportunity to get in, you know, whether that's starting off at Wheels Up Enduro or if they've been riding to get on with that. And then you can, when you go out to Colorado or if you go try doing, you know, like other BME events, you know, now that we have one here.
You're going to be very well prepared.
Yeah. You'll know exactly what to expect. Nothing's going to be overwhelming for you. You're going to be in a good mental place when you're out there and ready to ride. So I think that experience and them having that or younger kids seeing it as an example is really huge to kind of then feed our Missouri kids to a place like Colorado. I mean, it's the same theory of why Hidden Valley's still in operation and still here. It's
for sure.
You know, it feeds people.
We're grassroots,
so that they go out.
We're grassroots, and BME is the national series, and it's by design that we're trying to build athletes to compete in that and to feed in it.
Are you racing BME again?
I am racing the BME.
Do you have how many of your kids are planning on doing it?
Off the top of my head, I'd say 4. I know 4 of them who are for sure going to go do it. Yeah, I'm going to race the old dogs category. They have one 15 above now called the old dogs.
Jeff will be racing that one.
Jeff will be racing that one too. I can't wait to go down to that race.
Yeah.
It's going to be 4 new trails, all rough cuts in.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
That's going to be scary.
It's going to be terrifying. And for some reason, that's why I love it.
It'll be scary.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I'd said this too, you know, and I've done a lot of events. I've done, you know, 6-day events. I've done, you know, hair scrambles and motocross and work series and a lot of long, very hard saddle time endeavors that were days. And I think, honestly, the BME is going to be one of the hardest races I've ever done. I mean, I'm checking out for 4 days, bro. I'm taking off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm pre-riding on Thursday and Friday.
Where are you staying at down there?
I got a hotel Saturday night for race because the family will probably come down over in Farmington was the closest place I could have. Not Farmington, like 10, 15 miles away. I forgot the name of the place. It's some
You're
super
the wrong guy.
I know.
For words.
And then I also have one at the Arcadia Valley. We run one of those little cabins there. One of my buddies did. We're kind of time sharing with a couple different people there. And but that's going to be
Arcadia Valley is going to be like they're going to have a couple like campgrounds. It's going to be like 20 people in each room.
You know what kept me going? You know what kept me going through Chubb, and I think this is a good mental mindset for everybody who's going to do BME who did Chubb. When I got done with that race, I had a real honest self-check, and I was like, I could wake up and do this again tomorrow, which is really what that's going to be. Right. It's going to be like that back to back.
Right.
It's going to be super hard and
it's
super
2 days
fun.
Of racing, right?
Yeah, and it's run what you brung. You know, if you race an e-bike, you can ride the e-bike transition, but I'm not racing e-bike this year, so I'm be pedaling. Pedaling. So it'll be a ton of fun. I can't wait.
Well, we're at 54 minutes. So yeah, congrats on your
Thank
finish
you.
at Chubb.
Worked
Congrats to
hard.
all the other Wheels Up Enduro racers for making out there. Congrats to Alex Mustache
Fully.
for first and second place, and then Jamie Daniels from in the men's division.
Yeah.
And Devin, Jesus,
I know.
third place podium finish. That's pretty awesome too.
That's
Right
amazing.
behind Cass, who is an insanely fast human being.
Dude, all our guys are fast.
Which-
All Missouri people, anybody who races that race fast.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So much fun.
It is.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for stopping and talking to it. If you're watching this next year, sign up for the Chubb Enduro 2023.
Don't miss it. Yeah, if there's another race that I know the BME won't conflict with it, but I'm telling you, any other race in the Midwest or the South, if the Chubb Enduro's on the calendar next year, that's where you want to be. Promise.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%. Sign up, guys.